Hello, everybody. I can see Arush and Patel. Welcome to the webinar. I'm sure others will join soon. But first and foremost, I will introduce Sylvia, and Sylvia
Hello.
will introduce to you the school and the city of Ancona.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. My name is Silvia Mariotti. I'm the head of the International Students Admission Office, and I'm pleased to introduce the Università Politecnica delle Marche and our city, Ancona. It's a pleasure to have you here and to share a glimpse of what studying with us could look like. Let me start with a few words about our university. UNIVPM is a public university located on the Adriatic coast of Italy with 5 faculties: engineering, economics, agriculture and food sciences, medicine and surgery, and sciences. We are known for our strong research activity, modern facilities, and close connection to companies and local institutions. And our approach combines academic excellence with practical hands-on learning. We offer more than 10 programs, taught entirely in English, covering different disciplines like engineering, including fields such as biomedical, electronic, green industrial, and environmental engineering, economic and business, with programs that prepare students for global careers in management and international economics, agriculture and food and environmental sciences, also with a focus on the environmental protection and marine biology, and then a medtech, medicine and technology, an innovative program in medicine and surgery added to a biomedical engineering stream. These programs are built to provide not only academic knowledge, but also technical skills, teamwork, experience, and strong links to the job market. Now, just a few words about Ancona. Ancona is a port city overlooking the Adriatic Sea, and it's a small but safe and welcoming city, particularly suited for students. The cost of living is affordable, especially compared to larger Italian cities, and the lifestyle is relaxed but culturally rich. You will find seaside, parks, museums, theaters, and plenty of opportunities to enjoy Italian food and tradition. Ancona is also well connected. You can travel easily across Italy and Europe thanks to the train station, the port, and the local airport. And the size of the city makes it easy to move around and meet people and build a community. At UNIVPM, we take care and welcome international students. Our office supports you through the entire process, from the pre-assessment to your arrival in Italy and your experience on campus. We aim to create an environment where you feel supported, included, and ready to grow both academically and personally. Choose the university is a very important decision, and at UNIVPM you will find a high-quality education and dedicated professor and a city that offer comfort, beauty, and opportunities. So we would be very delighted to welcome you and accompany you in this next chapter of your academic life. Thank you for your attention, and I truly hope to see you soon here at the Università Politecnica delle Marche. And now I pass the floor to our students ambassador, who will introduce you the admission process. Thank you.
Okay. So we have Kathy. Okay, hello. Hello all, welcome to our webinar, and hope we can help you as much as we can in this webinar. Before we begin the admission steps, it's important to know that UNIVPM provides supports through the student journey. This includes academical and faculty guidance, and also help from the admission office. So we have general student service and administrative support, language support in Italian and English, and also activities related to the orientation and integration. So even though the application and visa process may seem complicated at first, students are not expected to figure everything out completely alone. There are official university structured in place to support the students academically and practically. Let's have also the slides. Okay. So, in addition to official university services, also ambassadors provide another layer of support. What makes ambassadors support useful for you is that it comes from the current students and also recent students' experiences. That means we try to explain not only the official steps, but also what the process feels like in practice for you. So we share these tips about the application journey, moving to Italy, daily student life, adapting to Ancona, and also understanding small details that are sometimes missing from the formal documenting. So our role is to help you to make this process more approachable and also less overwhelming. One of the most useful ambassador resources is our YouTube channel, which is Ambassadors Program UNIVPM. There you can find details, video guides, student experiences, explanation of the admission and also visa topics, useful walk through the platforms and also procedures that students often ask about. For example, we also have a more detailed video about the Go Moving platform, which many students find helpful. So if you prefer visual explanations or want to visit information after the webinars, the YouTube channel is a very good place to continue learning. Mm, exactly. And also, you can you can also follow us on Instagram at @univpm.ambassadors. We use Instagram to share updates, events, reminders, useful tips about some student life content, and interactive question and answers. It's also one of the main places where we announced webinars and community activities. Sometimes including our activities, sometimes including also games and informal engagement opportunities as well for students. So Instagram is useful not only for informations, but also for staying connected with the ambassadors community and be aware of future events. We have also the Link Hub, which is a central place where you can access all useful resources provided by the ambassadors. It includes guidance based on real students' experiences and practical tips for moving through Italy. And also it helps with the applications and student life you may face. It also helps you to stay connected with the community before and also after arrival in Italy. We have also our question portal, which is another very important tool in ambassador program. This gives students a structured way to submit questions directly. We use these questions to identify the common concerns of students and include them in future webinars, posts, or resources that we make. We also try to respond to direct messages, but the portal is generally more efficient and more organized because it helps us to collect the questions in one place and also answer them in a way that can help many students at once. So if students are unsure where to ask something, the question portal is usually the best option. Before going through the admission process, let's see briefly the topics that we're going through today in this webinar. We try to cover the questions that most students were concerned about. We have also some topics here. So if you couldn't find, we hope that you can find all your answers in today's webinar. But if you couldn't find your answers, you can write always your questions for us through Instagram, through the question portal, and also you can write email for us. Let's go through the admission process. Actually, we go through admission process briefly because we have prepared a very complete and clear video that you can find in our YouTube. That there we covered step by step the process of pre-enrollment. So if you have any question about the pre-enrollment, you can check our video, but today we're going through the general questions. The admission process has 4 main steps: the pre-evaluation and Universitaly for visa students, if you need visa, the admission test if required for some course, and also finally the enrollment process. The enrollment process is required for all international students. It includes checking your academic background and verifying your documents. It also applies to students transferring from another Italian university with a foreign degree. It is also important to understand that meeting requirements does not guarantee the admission sometimes, because each application is evaluated individually based on academic performance and previous studies, motivation, and preparation for each course. So before applying, you should always check if your qualification is valid for your country. Also, note that the evaluation is valid only for one academic year and can't be referred to the next academic year. And also, we have like several application calls through the year. So each call has a specific deadlines and may apply to different groups of students. So please always check our website to be updated about the calls and if you are able to apply in each call. And also please always check the program notice carefully about each calls and each program separately. We strongly suggest you to apply as early as possible that you can. Applying early is very important, especially for visa students. You need to complete pre-evaluation, Universitaly, visa application, and also enrollment, since the visa process can take weeks to even months. Starting early can give you a big advantage. And also, the pre-evaluation usually takes time, and the time that the time is different through programs. So apply early really can like help you to manage better your time. I hope by here you got some of your answers. I will pass it through my colleague Karina, so she will like go through other questions. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. So I will continue from where Kathy left. So essentially, we'll be going through more questions and answering a lot of sort of common misconceptions and maybe some things that are confusing or unclear. So the first question is, do programs start in January? So a common misunderstanding is that if application calls are opened through December or March, that generally this also means separate intakes, but we have different application windows or application calls, but most programs, they start in the regular academic year, which is usually late September or September to early October. So please think of calls as different opportunities to apply, but not necessarily an intake. The next question is, how long does it take to receive an outcome? Generally, this is a very frequent question, and generally we can't give you a particular number or particular number of days, but the general estimate is 45 days, and this can vary, of course, with your program and your application and the volume of applications as well that the office is processing. So in this time, the university is reviewing your academic status, also verifying the authenticity of your documents. So please don't worry, do not panic. If your result does not come immediately, it does not mean that there is a problem. It just means that the university is going through your paperwork. The next part is this. So application status, what does processing mean? Like I said before, this is basically whenever a student, you log into your portal and you see in progress, this generally means that the application is being processed. In most cases, this does not mean an automatic rejection. If your application is being processed, like I said before, be patient and you will receive your result. The next question we got a lot of is study gap. So can I apply with a study gap? Absolutely, you can apply. And does this harm your chances of getting accepted into the school? No. So UNIVPM will evaluate your applications individually, and if they notice that you have you have well accounted your gap years, so you're studying, if you've been doing any other part of your gap, maybe you're traveling, maybe you're learning a different language, you can always add this in your CV or your motivation statement, and even work or any other basically outside university activity that you've done, you can mention this in your motivation statement or CV. The key idea is that you show that the gap still contributed to your development rather than appearing as an empty period. So just an answering to that question that we received. Another problem or question is restricted access programs. Some programs here at UNIVPM are restricted access, which means that they have a fixed number of seats. For example, in medicine and surgery, we have 60 non-EU seats. And essentially what happens is these programs, your admission is not based on pre-evaluation. So students have to have a very specific admissions procedure. Usually you have an entrance exam, then you have a ranking system. If you are a part of that rank, then you can obtain one of the available places. So the exact rules and all the deadlines are provided, as Kati said, in specific program notices. So please be updated on the University website, and of course we'll be posting information on our Instagram as well. Another question was about the TOLC. So the TOLC stands for the Test Online SIA, which is basically an online assessment used by many Italian universities to evaluate whether a student's academic preparation is in balance with the university, if that makes sense. So particularly in subjects like mathematics, logic, and science. For example, at UNIVPM, TOLC is not mandatory for admission, so you do not need to take it in order to apply or to receive an offer. However, TOLC can be useful because it can exempt you from an OFA. So what is an OFA? It's a hard word for me to pronounce in Italian, but obblighi formativi aggiuntivi. If I'm right, Sylvia, please let me know. It is basically an additional learning requirement for students if they do not meet the expected academic level. So whether it's in maths, I know a lot of students who come from different parts of the world, maybe you're from Morocco or somewhere, and maybe the exact, your exact maybe high school degree doesn't match with the Italian requirements, so you can always have this option and admissions are still open to you. Now, so the key, I will give you just like a key points. It's basically if a student has already taken TOLC, you can present that in your enrollment and you don't have to take the OFA. And if, let's say, you are a student who do not pass the OFA, this does not mean that your process is over. It can often be repeated. So please don't be in panic if you don't pass it. It's okay. You can try again. In some programs, however, failing the OFA can be a temporary prevention from students taking that very specific subject. So again, TOLC not required for admission, but it can be helpful in the later process. Now we will move to Universitaly. So just a brief information about Universitaly. I'm sure you are aware of it, but if you're a non-EU student who requires a study visa, then Universitaly is a mandatory step. Universitaly is the official national platform used for pre-enrollment, allowing the university to validate your application and enable the Italian embassy to process your visa request. Okay. Now moving to some important details concerning, oh, sorry, next slide. Yes, concerning your admissions documents. So again, in our video on the Move-In platform, we have made very extensive video concerning all the documents required, but I will quickly touch on this. We have the required documents depend on whether you're applying for a bachelor's or a master's. So that's something to keep clear in your mind. But the structure is very similar. For bachelor programs, students usually need a secondary school diploma obtained after at least 12 years of schooling, transcripts, and a grading scale. But for a master's program, students generally need a bachelor's degree, academic transcript, and often a diploma supplement. In addition, students usually need a B2 language certificate, passport details, and depending on the country and qualification, extra documents can also be required, such as declaration of value, CIMEA verification, apostille or legalization, a national entrance exam certificate, or sometimes a CV. And in total, the application fee is 10 euros, and students can apply up to 2 programs. Okay, so this is all your admission documents. Then we have the verification process. So after receiving academic approval, visa students continue with Universitaly pre-enrollment, where they upload both your identity and your academic documents. So this usually includes a passport copy, a passport style photo, a diploma, a degree certificate, and a transcript of records. At this stage, to keep in mind, additional verification can be required, such as an apostille, a CIMEA verification, or official translations, if the documents are not in Italian or in English. Once submitted, the university checks authenticity, eligibility, as we said before. And now we will move to a specific section. If you are not applying for medicine and surgery, you can ignore this portion and move forward. But this is specifically for the medicine and surgery students who are pursuing medicine and surgery. So first and foremost, the medicine and surgery is a medtech program, and this is a restricted access program, meaning we only have a fixed number of seats. In the year of 2025-2026 cycle, we had 60 seats that were reserved for non-EU students, which is students residing abroad. Okay. And admission is based mainly on the IMAT exam. So you based on the rank of your result, you get your outcome according to how many seats are available, if that makes sense. So unlike open access programs, medicine is very competitive and depends on your performance. So keep in mind, again, that this is a restricted access program, so you must start preparing, if you haven't already, much before. Then we have the IMAT registration. So essentially for IMAT, students must complete a national registration process in addition to following the university guidelines. So for example, in 2025, we had a registration taking place from between August to September, and students had to register through Universitaly, choosing their university preferences and then paying the fee. Very important detail is the university choices become final after your deadline, so please choose your university carefully. Now, talking about the IMAT timeline, so this is just a summary of what I've said. Basically, registration, August, September, um, exam, let's say if your exam date is in September, your results will come in October, and your enrollment happens very quickly after your results. So an idea that I would give to you as a medical student myself is try to organize your visa appointments if you are coming from, of course, if you're coming internationally, so that you can apply and arrive in Ancona in the right timeline. So prepare ahead. Just a tip. Now, concerning the structure of the medicine and technology program, this is also a question that we get asked a lot, and I will quickly touch on this. So the MedTech program is a 6-year integrated medical degree, and it is officially classified as LM41. What makes it distinctive is that it combines traditional medicine education with biomedical engineering and digital health technologies. Remember, these two are separate degrees, but you will receive the degrees together after you graduate, obviously. But there is both these degrees are independent on their own. So full medicine and surgery, full biomedical engineering degree. What you will study, so in your curriculum, excuse me, in your curriculum, students in MedTech will complete the full medical curriculum and the clinical training across the 6 years. Alongside that, in studying your technology and engineering subjects, you have mathematics, analysis, geometry, medical informatics, industrial bioengineering, electromagnetism, and also artificial intelligence, genomics, big data, and digital health. So the important point is that these topics are added to the curriculum. They're not replacing any of your core medical training, just to keep in mind. Another topic that is we have a few questions about is the PTA. So PTA is your professionalizing training activities. This is again related to medicine and technology. So this is an very important component of your medicine program. So these are basically practical training sessions designed to develop clinical and professional skills. And they may include laboratory training, clinical skill practices, and professional medical preparation. These are designated days through the year, and they're scheduled in either groups or either as a class in a whole. And the faculty publishes an official timetable each year and also in each semester. So, for example, as fourth-year medical students, we have our PTA starting in the second year. This is just an example, but sorry, not the second year, the second semester. So just an example to tell you that the PTAs are scheduled and you have to follow that schedule. Why? Because the next slide is about the PTA attendance. I think it's maybe the essentially, the attendance is very, very serious, and students are generally expected to complete 100% of the required practical activities because these are very essential for your clinical training and they cannot be replaced by independent studying. So PTAs are highly, highly stressed. Now, let's say if you miss a PTA session because of various reasons, your absence will have to be officially justified. So the student must follow this faculty procedure. And in some cases, we also have catch-up sessions through the year. So let's say if you miss one PTA, you may have a chance to organize a your professor will organize a catch-up session so that all your PTAs are completed within that year. We also have PTA exams. So just so you know, please take this seriously. Try to organize yourself very well, know your dates very well for your PTA because missing a PTA can impact your school life. It can take away a lot of your mental peace. So I would highly recommend organize your PTA. The next part is matricula. So matricula is basically after, this is the last, essentially the last step, which is your student number that you get. And oftentimes students may worry, when are we going to receive a matricula? Do you receive it after you've paid your paid the fees? Or yes, so essentially after you have arrived in Italy and you have done your final paperwork, this is all the required documents have been uploaded. The university also has completed all your document verification. Your first tuition installment is provided and recorded in the system. Then you will receive your matricula. So if you're worried that your matricula is delayed or you have not received it, don't be worried. You can always contact the International Admissions Office. You can contact the International Admissions Office email. And if there is a delay or if there's a concern, please share your concern. But generally, it's the very, very last step. Okay. Then another question is about admission. So it is important to understand how admission validity and deferment work. At UNIVPM, admissions results are generally valid for one academic year only. This means that if a student is rejected or they cannot enroll in time, the result does not automatically carry over to the following year. In that case, the student usually has to reapply in the next cycle, starting again from peer evaluation because requirements and program conditions may change over time. So I understand a lot of students who have visa delays and various issues concerning their paperwork. Please know, unfortunately, that deferment is not possible, and that is a part of the year schedule essentially. So you would have to reapply in the next year. Okay, concerning English requirements, this is another very popular question. So in this slide, you can see the study programs that are in English. And in order to access these programs, you would have to, not all, but some, you would have to provide an English requirement. For example, for English taught programs, you have to demonstrate a B2 level English proficiency according to the CEFR framework. This applies to digital economics and business, environmental sciences. Accepted proof may include certifications like IELTS, TOEFL, Cambridge English, or other recognized qualifications. If the required English level cannot be demonstrated, the application may not be accepted. So I would highly recommend whenever you're uploading your English certifications, please upload them carefully and correctly. The last part is concerning the medium of instruction. So students also ask if the medium of instruction can be used as a certification rather than an English certification, if that makes sense. Medium of instruction is not always automatically accepted in place of IELTS or TOEFL. Its acceptance depends on the program rules. So please check your admissions notice, your program rules, and the university's evaluation. For some cases, MOI may be accepted. For others, they cannot. But please don't work under the assumption that MOI will replace your English certification. Key takeaways we have here: we are here to support you. You can use our questions portal for structured support. You can follow us on our Instagram for updates and events, and watch our YouTube channel, especially for very detailed guides. And especially for events like this, we'll post them on our Instagram. And use the link hub. It's essential now and later. In fact, even me as a student here, I often use this resource because it helps keeping all the links, all the information in one center. We are here to basically make your journey as understandable, as helpful as possible. And thank you so much for joining today's webinar. Hope you have a lovely, lovely day. And if you have any questions, please feel free to post them in the chat. We will be finishing in about 10 more minutes. Also, if all who have joined, maybe you can share where you're from and where you are interested to apply in UNIVPM, what program you're interested in.